I still don't fully understand who this team is, though, man. No. Because, like, their wins are against bad teams.
Yep.
And, like, I don't think Boise State's the worst of the worst in college football, but think, like, Navy, Arkansas State, Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
And then their losses are against top 25 caliber teams. Like, they're somewhere in the middle. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're necessarily a great team, but they have a chance to show they're a great team because outside of SMU, all these games they'll be favored in and they should win. And I asked myself this, like, and I want you to comment on this as well. What gets the fan base back engaged? What gets the fan base hyped up? Hey, this is the moment. This is the year where we saw it all turn around for Ryan Silverfield. I don't think that just because they lost to Tulane, that's completely out of the realm of possibilities. If they won out, beat SMU 10-2 in the AAC championship game, win or loss, I think everybody's back on board.
I think that's the only way, though. I think the season has to end in an AAC championship game appearance.
There's one other thing that I think you cannot rule out. Lost to SMU, which would stink, but you win the rest of your games. You go 9-3. You get into a big bowl game against a decent opponent, and you win that. You have you're 10-3.
Maybe.
And I know that, like, winning and success can sometimes spoil a fan base pretty quickly. We've seen that in the past. You know, it's a commonality. We see that. And maybe there's a little bit of that in this fan base as well. But I don't know how you could look at 10-3 and not be encouraged at least some level. Yeah. At some level.
Yeah. I mean,
those are the only two, though. 8-4 for the regular season? No. Anything less than 9-3 in a solid bowl win, it's unfortunate. And you could say that, you know, it's fickle from the fan base or it's unfair from the fan base to feel that way. But anything less than 10-3 in some type of bowl win, I just don't see how people get excited. And I think expectations absolutely 100% change when Cincinnati and UCF and Houston left the conference. Like, it's just this schedule is cupcake. It's kind of a trash schedule. So you have to show dominance like that with that type of schedule ahead of you.
Yeah, I mean, you laid out those two options, but the question was to get the fan base re-engaged.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, I think 10-3 with a bowl win is successful.
But I
think to get the fan base engaged, it has to end with a conference championship game appearance.
Okay.
I just think that's the only way you're going to rope people back in at this point.
Okay.
What kind of confidence level do you have that this team can do that?
That is a question. I was at a lot of media, around a lot of football media today, and that was a question that was being tossed around the entire day.
And I think I'm going to be lockstep with a lot of folks. I'm quite skeptical.
Yes.
That is going to happen. You have to take it 1 week at a time in that scenario. And this team has shown that against, you know, these toss-up opponents, if you're on the road, things can rattle them, and they've shown that they can lose these type of games. Yeah, and this is a lot of games ahead of them still.
Yes, I would follow that with not very from me. How many games do they have on the road? 4? Is it 4 of 6 on the road?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they have 2 more games at home.
And I mean, they're not good teams that you play on the road.
No.
I mean, you play Temple, who sucks really bad.
North Texas, UAB.
Charlotte, and UAB. Yeah. What are the home games? SMU,
South Florida, and South SMU. Florida. Is that right, Kenny? I think that's right.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think
that's 100% right.
Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
I'm skeptical. I mean, like,
it's still.
I would chalk up. Like, I'm sorry. After watching that Tulane game, it's hard for me to chalk up a game against SMU, even if it's at home, as some type of win.
South Florida's not terrible. They're terrible, but
they're terrible for regular standards.
Yes, for regular standards.
AAC standards are different standards, but like,
their quarterback could give Memphis trouble.
I'm very, very skeptical that they're going to be able to do that. In fact, I just don't think it's just not very likely, like you said.
Yeah, I agree. It's possible. It's on the table, but just from what we've seen.
And let me bring this up. I think it was 2014, and I'll give the qualifier after.
Okay.
It was 2014, the Miami Beach Bowl year, 10-3, ended the year ranked in the, I think, 25th, right? We started 3-3 that year. Lost to Houston in just like dramatic fashion, hated it, and we ended at 3-3 like right then. We rattled off 7 damn wins in a row.
Yeah.
It's possible. Even when you think it's not probable, it is possible. But I will say the resolve from that team coming from having lost as much as we did, the confidence we had from being 3-3 at that point in the season, I just don't know if it's the same mental makeup for this team that team had at that moment in 2014.
Right.
It's just a different style of Memphis football
It is, yeah,
and
it
player
absolutely is.
and where you're coming from. Like there's a different edge, I think, that team had that this team doesn't necessarily have.